everyone, and welcome to my booktube channel. My name is Sarah, and today I am going to be showing you all of the books that I read in the month of November. So I only read 7 books, which is not as good as I usually do, but that was mostly because I was taking part in NaNoWriMo. So for those of you who don't know, NaNoWriMo is basically an event where a bunch of crazy writer people get together and try to write 50,000 words in 30 days. It's crazy. Am I right? Am I right? I am right, and I know you know it. So yes, I was one of those crazy people that got together and tried to write a bunch of words in a month, and I ended up writing 60,000 words in 30 days, which is 10,000 more than I wrote last year, which was my first time. So that was pretty exciting. But because I was writing the words, I wasn't really reading the words, so let's get started with all the books that I read this month. First of all, I read Daughters Unto Devils by Amy Lukacs. This is a horror novel set in the 1800s. I would say it's basically Stephen King meets Little House on the Prairie. It's insane and crazy and twisty and turny, and I couldn't stop reading. It's pretty short too, so that was easy to get through, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a good start to my month. The next book that I read this month was Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. This is one of those classic books that everybody but me has read, and I saw it in the library. And I was like, yes, I'm going to read it. I like the movie, so I'm going to give the book a try. And I really did enjoy it. It was more of a middle grade level story, and so it wasn't like, the writing wasn't elaborate and fantastic, but I did really enjoy it. The next book that I read this month was Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. This book was really hyped up, and I was nervous about that because usually I don't love the hyped books. I tend to have a different opinion in that area, but I really enjoyed this novel. It's basically about a girl who has a disease that makes her allergic to everything, and so she lives sort of literally in a bubble. And, like, it was very interesting. I've never read anything like it, and there are lots of IM logs and charts and things, and the format was really interesting, and so I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. The contemporary feels, man. Read it. The next book that I read this month was Black Widow Forever Read by Margaret Stohl. This is basically a Marvel YA book about Black Widow, and so I know what you're thinking. That sounds perfect, right? And I was very excited, but I sort of set myself up for failure here by not reading any synopsises, which is a mistake for me in this case because it was not exactly what I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be like a Black Widow backstory, like we get to see into her teenage years, and there are a couple of flashbacks, but nothing too detailed, and she's still really shrouded in mystery, but I think that's part of her character, and I realized that's why they did it, and yeah, but I didn't love it as much because of that, which is really my fault, but I still really liked it. It was still action-packed and full of adventure, and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read this month was A Zombie Thanksgiving by Rusty Fisher. Do you like my cracked Kindle? Do you like it? I know you do. I know. Yeah. It's amazing that I haven't cut myself on it yet, but we'll just wait. This book is exactly what it sounds like. It is zombies on Thanksgiving, which was really interesting. It's like a short story, and it was free on Kindle, so I was like, it's Thanksgiving, I'm bored, let's do this. And I really liked it. It was funnier than I thought it would be. So yeah, that was good. The next book that I read, sort of, is The Winner's Crime by Marie Rudkowski. I'm really not sure how to pronounce her name, but it's the sequel to The Winner's Curse, which I read a couple of months ago and I really loved. I think he gave it like 4.5 out of 5 stars. And I rushed to pick up the sequel, and it put me in a reading slump. And I'm still not finished with it. I'm like halfway through. And it makes me sad because I really like the story. I love the political intrigue and the characters. I think it's very interesting, but I just can't get through it. Has that ever happened to any of you guys? You should let me know down below because I want to know if anyone else has experienced this phenomenon. And then the last book that I read was A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This was another one of those free Kindle books, and it's a classic, so I thought I would give it a try because I've never read it. I started it a couple of times, but it never followed through, so anyway, I really, really enjoyed this one. I just love the story, and I mean, everything about it. I love Christmas. Can you tell? Have you seen my little snow globe? I love Christmas. I'm a big fan. And I ended up getting, really strangely emotional at the end of the book when he, spoiler alert, became a better man. And I was like, oh, he's a better man. Did you see that? He's a better man. So, yeah, I got a lot of Christmassy feels on this book. That basically wraps it up on all the books that I read this month. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!